Good evening. I'd like to call the Winterville Town Council meeting to order. Today is Monday, August the 3rd, 2026. The time is 6 p.m. Tonight, invocation will be given by Councilman Moy. And after Councilman Moy, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you for this wonderful, blessed day. We thank you for allowing us to come out here tonight to represent this wonderful town that we consider as a slice of good life, the town of Winterville. We thank you so much for the leadership that we have here, from the council to our administration staff, and especially to serve a great town like the town of Winterville. And our citizen is our first priority. We just want to let you know, Lord, to continue on blessing us. And we know that we can disagree to agree into a lot of things, but we're going to do our very best and give you the glory and the honor and listen to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone to our monthly meeting tonight, and to all that's watching as well. Next up, I'm sorry, my name is Ricky Hines, I'm the mayor. Next up, we would do our roll call. We would get our clickers. Everyone is present except Councilwoman Chantel Hawkins, and I do not have anything. I haven't heard anything from her, so as of right now, everyone is present except Councilwoman Hawkins. All right. Next up is the approval of the agenda.
Mayor, I do have one item. We are removing under consent the approval of council meeting minutes.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Robinson, second by Councilwoman Smith, to approve the agenda. Any discussion? If none, please use your clicker. Motion carried 4. Thank you. Welcome, Councilwoman Hawkins. And your phone light was on. Next up is the recognition of new employees. First up is Fire Chief to introduce our new employee.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to introduce Michael Stocks as our new full-time fire inspector. He has a associate's degree from Beaufort Community College in EMS, bachelor's degree from Western in emergency management, and most importantly, he is a level 3 fire inspector. Most of you probably know him because he's worked for us since 2016, part-time, full-time, sometime. He was one of our full-time paramedics for 6 years. Yeah, Michael Stocks.
Good evening, Mayor, Council members, and Town Manager Parker. Appreciate the opportunity to come back in a different role and serve the town in a different role and keep moving the town forward. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, and welcome back. Glad to have you back. Next up is Lieutenant Hamilton to introduce our new officer.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'd like to introduce Catherine Trask. She's one of our newest members of the Winterville Police Department. Ms. Trask has already history of working in the public, working and serving individuals. She got her undergraduate degree in sociology. Then she went over to corporate world, stole her from the public life for a little while. I think she worked 15 years in the corporate world. She got her master's from one of the greatest universities, Chapel Hill. Go Tar Heels. She got out of the corporate world and decided she wanted to go back to her calling, to serve the public, serve the community. She's got a strong want to help individuals who don't have a representation in the community, do community work, help seniors, help young kids, and just get out there and be a face for the department. She's from the western part of the state originally, and then has moved back this way, would be with family, and hope she stays around here for a while.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve this community. I look forward to my time here, and I appreciate the support of all of you. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome aboard, and I've seen some of her work already in action. I had the opportunity to do a ride along, and I started at 7 in the morning and on the ride along, and by 8 o'clock we had knocked down a light pole and had traffic backed up all through southern Pitt County for about 9 hours, and Officer Trask was out there. She was directing traffic where she was getting it in. So, you know, I already seen her in action doing that. So, welcome aboard. Yeah. Next up is a presentation, Mr. Luther Hemby with. He's with our Vision Zero. He's one of our Vision Zero members.
Good evening, Mayor Hines, members of the town council, the town staff, our director of Vision Zero, Dr. Ket Dale, who's watching online tonight and is unable to be here. Assistant Town Michael, Manager Anthony, and members of the Winterville Zero Task Force, and everybody joining us this evening. Thank you for allowing me a few moments to share my reflections from representing the town of Winterville at the 2026 North Carolina Vision Zero Leadership Institute this summer in Chapel Hill. Rather than providing a technical report, I want to share this from my perspective as a community and as a community advocate and volunteer member of the Vision Zero Winterville Task Force. What I learned and what I'm able to share with Winterville and what I brought back from this experience. First of all, thank you, Mayor Hines, again, Town Council, Dr. Dale, Anthony, and the entire Vision Zero Task Force for trusting me with this opportunity. It was truly an honor to represent our town alongside leaders, planners, engineers, public safety professionals, and community advocates from across North Carolina who share the same goal, making our communities safer. The Leadership Institute was an incredible learning experience. One of the most valuable parts was connecting with other communities, especially other small towns. Winterville was paired throughout the 2 days being there with similar communities throughout the conference. We had an opportunity to share challenges, celebrate successes, exchange ideas, and learn what is working across the state. One of the major themes throughout the Institute was that the Vision Zero is more than infrastructure. It's about building a culture of safety. It's about people, partnership, communication, data, education, and making safety part of every decision we make. During one of the sessions that I attended, we focused on understanding an organizational safety culture. We looked at areas such as planning and programming, design and engineering, safety operations, evaluations, and how safety becomes part of everyday decision-making. The purpose was not to compare communities, but to identify strengths, recognize opportunities, and continue improvement. Another session that I attended focused on community engagement and the role of community advocates. We discussed building trust, organizing outreach, sharing information, gathering feedback, researching data, reporting back to residents, promoting safety programs, and bringing people together around a common goal. When we discuss what communities need to be successful, the words that stood out to me were collaboration, communication, participation, coordination, partnership, resources. We can't do much without resources. We need money, and trust. I was proud to represent Winterville and share the work already happening in our community. I shared our Vision Zero Task Force efforts, our community outreach, bicycle helmet giveaways, bicycle registration, tabling events, educational efforts, teen driver outreach, partnerships, and the commitment of volunteers and town leadership. I also shared the work that's been done around safe routes to school, the collaboration that we have with the schools here in Winterville, one being W.H. Robinson right next door to us and A.G. Cox Middle School, pedestrian safety efforts, sidewalk improvements, crosswalk discussions, downtown safety efforts, neighborhood conversations, and the importance of making our community safer for people walking, biking, and driving. I was also proud to share some of the work and progress that Winterville have made through collaboration, including our work with partners, the North Carolina Department of Transportation, safety efforts, pedestrian improvement, and continued efforts to identify opportunities to make our streets safer. One moment that was especially exciting for me was seeing Winterville during the statewide presentation. To see our town included among communities that are making meaningful progress towards safer streets, especially considering how our Vision Zero here in Winterville Task Force was established, was something I was incredibly proud of. The recognition belongs to all of us. It reflects the leadership of Dr. Ket, Dale, Kate, the support of our mayor and the support of our town, the dedication of our assistant town manager, Anthony, our town staff, our public safety partners, and every member of the Winterville Vision Zero Task Force. As someone representing Winterville, it was rewarding to see the work happening here noticed across North Carolina. It reminded me that although we are a growing town, we're already making meaningful impactment and showing what can be done and what can happen when a community works together with a shared commitment to safety. One thing I appreciated most was learning that Vision Zero requires everyone at the table. Engineers design roads, planners help shape communities, police enforce traffic laws, town leadership provide vision and resources. But all of us as parents, as neighbors, as drivers, bicyclists, and pedestrians, we help create the culture of safety. And that is why the Vision Zero Task Force matters. The work is personal to me. Winterville is more than a town where I volunteer. It is home. Both of my children were born and raised here, and even all of our dogs. As a parent, a community leader, a driver, and someone who enjoys walking mostly 3 miles a day, road safety is not about something that we discuss at task force meetings, is something that I and you experience every day. When I joined the Vision Zero Task Force last year, my youngest son had just earned his driver's license at 16 years old. Today, he is a senior at Trinity Christian High School in Greenville, North Carolina. And God willing, will be driving himself soon to Trinity, August the 17th. Like so many parents here today, I think about the routes. I'm almost finished, Mayor. Our children travel every day to school, to work, to church, and to activities, and then back home. And that is why safe routes to school is so important to me. Creating safer roads and begins with each of us, and it starts at home. I also want to share why, in my closing, while I joined the Winterville Vision Zero Task Force. Like many in our community, I was deeply impacted by the tragic loss of Kamar Robinson. That tragedy occurred near the entrance of my neighborhood while she was leaving school one evening. It was a heartbreaking reminder that traffic fatalities are not statistics. They are our neighbors, our children, our families, and our friends. That tragedy encouraged me to become more involved, to be more vocal, and to serve as a community advocate. I want to help spread the message of road safety and be a part of an effort focused on preventing future tragedies. None of us ever want to experience another preventable tragedy on our roads. Every life lost is too many. That is why Vision Zero matters. And one thing I appreciate about Vision Zero Task Force is that we do not see differences among people. We see fellow citizens of Winterville. We do not know every person's background, circumstances, neighborhood, or journeys, but we do know that every person matters. Every person walking across the sidewalk, every person riding a bicycle, driving to work, pushing a stroller, using a wheelchair, waiting for a school bus, or traveling through our community deserves to arrive safely. Every life has equal value. And one message that I heard throughout the Leadership Conference Institute was simple. Safety is everyone's responsibility. Whether we're driving, whether we're walking, whether we're riding, bicycling, or encouraging others to make safe choices, we all have a role to play. We can all help by slowing down, watching out for one another, sharing the road, and remembering that every person deserves to arrive home safely. If our work as a Vision Zero helps prevent one family from receiving that heartbreaking phone call, then every meeting, every partnership, every educational event, and every hour we volunteer have been worth it. I left Chapel Hill with more than just pages of notes and new ideas. I left with a deep appreciation that Vision Zero is not simply about transportation or infrastructure. It's about people. It's about relationships. It's about listening to our community, using information to make informed decisions, strengthening partnerships, and creating a culture where safety becomes part of every decision we make. Vision Zero is not a destination we reach overnight. It's a commitment to continuous improvement. Every conversation, every partnership, every educational event, and every safety effort. Every resident we engage brings us one step closer to making Winterville an even safer place for everybody. Thank you again, Mayor Hines, to the Town Council, Dr. Ket Dale, Assistant Town Manager Anthony, and the entire Vision Zero Task Force for the opportunity to represent our town at the 2026 North Carolina Vision Zero Institute. Thank you for investing in me and allowing me to bring this experience back to Winterville. I hope I have represented our town well, and I look forward to continue to serve along each of you as we work to build an even more safer Winterville for this generation and generations to come. And as I go to my seat, because the mayor is going to tell me my time is out, our mayor was one of two elected officials that was there, and the reason why I'm stressing that he was the only mayor there, and they emphasized on that because they said, you know, somebody of his caliber being there and the concern and care that he has for his community meant a lot. And for them to say that from a presentation perspective point from the Institute meant a lot. And so Mayor now is a superstar. Thank you.
Thank you, Luther. I'll mail you your check. Thank you for the presentation. As he said, Vision Zero, it was an experience. We did have a chance to hear from people from all over the state, like he said, planners and police department, fire. It was well worth attending, and I was glad to have Luther to be a part of it as we represented Winterville. Kat would normally be there, but she was out of the country at that time, and so we went. And usually Anthony attends, but he had something going on that he wasn't able to make it. But it's an experience, and if any of the rest of the board members would like a chance to go, I'm pretty sure we can see if we can make that happen. But it's really an experience to see, and to see what other communities are doing. And then, like he said, to see us on a national spotlight, and you can contribute that to East Carolina Help. Ellen is always talking about the town of Winterville throughout the country in all her presentation. And with East Carolina Help, they are also a great partner in this as well. And so, but it was good. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor. If I
Yes,
may
ma'am.
also make a quick comment, I just would like to say thank you to Mr. Hemby for your time and your commitment for the safety on the roads within our community in terms of our precious drivers, the pedestrians of all ages, because passengers can be newborn all the way up to whatever age they can continue driving into elderly ages and all abilities. So it is very important. I took notice of you saying that you turned the tragic death of Kamora Robinson into your advocacy and into you joining Vision Zero, which is a way in which you took the pain of the community and turned it into empowerment. And you bringing back that information was really good. And I just, again, want to tell you thank you for your investment. And I know you took some minutes in explaining, but of all the things that are explained, presentations, developments, and so forth, this investment in people was worth it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Tim Avery. I'm sorry. Hold on, Tim. Not quite. I'm jumping the gun. I got a public comment. I need to read it. I'm sorry. The public comment policy. The public comment period of 30 minutes provided an opportunity for residents to comment on any item included in the agenda or to address the town council on any other matter related to the town of Winterville or any item included in the public hearing section of the agenda. Residents should address the council at the time the mayor invites public comments on the item. No public comment may be made to the council during the meeting except during the public comment period or as part of the public hearing. Individual speakers are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and no more than 3 speakers may address the council on any single matter. The town council may elect to take no action on the matter addressed by a speaker, may schedule a matter for further consideration at a further council meeting, or may refer the matter to the town staff for disposition. Copies of the town public comment periods are available in the rear of the assembly room. All right. Now, I have Mr. Tim Avery. has stepped to the podium. He's with the Red Man organization.
Alton Watford who was our first vice president, is going to talk about the presentation. You received some information from us, and he will speak, and then I'll be here to answer any questions about our organization or Homes for Our Troops and the process and what it does.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Town Manager, and Attorney. We thank you all for allowing us to be here. When you first said Tim Avery, I was going to let you know that I'm not Tim Avery. I'm much younger and better looking. So I'm going to share some information from Mr. Avery here in his place. The Winterville Red Men and Pocahontas are among the oldest nonprofit organizations in Winterville. If you're not familiar with our lodge, it's right down just on the next block across from the police department at 236 Main Street. We are in the initial stages of planning a car show to be held on October 17th, 2026, to benefit Homes for Our Troops, as Mr. Avery was talking about. If you're not familiar with them, they build and reconstruct houses for post 9/11 veterans who have suffered many injuries, such as amputations, paralysis, blindness, severe burns, etc. And since 2004, Homes for Our Troops has built over 420 homes for these veterans, with 18 being right here in North Carolina and 4 being built as we speak. As far as the event, as you know, I'm always in support of events for our community that serve all of our community. And this event is one of those that we feel will be very inviting to all aspects of our community, as well as surrounding communities. We are asking for approval to block off West Railroad Street from Main to Cooper Street around 11 p.m. on that Friday night, October 16th, until around 4 p.m. on Saturday, the 17th. Main and Mill Restaurant has generously offered to let us use their parking lot for this event. So that's where everything's going to be held, kind of in that same area where the Halloween trick-or-treat event is held. We are also going to, well, it's been suggested to us from Lieutenant Hamilton to also check with Hines about, Mr. Hines about using the parking lot for Dixie Queen, and we are still awaiting approval for that. I will say that boards or North Carolina Driving School, as well as Miss Vanessa, with Vanessa Sewing and Repair, are both very supportive of this event. And we did want to check with them before even bringing this to you. We greatly appreciate your assistance in supporting our wonderful cause, and we feel like that this event would be something that you would welcome for our town, and we would hope that you would come out and support us as well. On this one.
Anyone got any questions?
Yes, Tim, I just have a question. Is there any current houses being built here in Pitt County?
Not in Pitt County.
Okay.
The closest one now is in Rocky Mount.
In Rocky Mount.
There are 18 currently in North Carolina. There are 4 currently being built in North Carolina. Each veteran is allowed to pick where they want their home.
Okay.
The majority of the time, that is around family, friend that has served the same thing. Real quickly, and I know I'm past time. There's currently 1,800 veterans that are seeking housing for the disabled. There's 1,000 applications in Homes for Our Troops right now, and they go through a screening process, and there's currently 90 that have been approved. And each year there's about 20 homes being built. And think about the cost of a home in North Carolina with the special items they need. It's around $450,000. But when we go to California, we're close to it. But it's a very interesting thing, and it's great to hear a veteran that says, I can finally walk through the hallway in my house.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions, Mr. Avery, and you need to make a decision on the street closure.
You would need to vote on the street closure.
Okay.
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the Redmond Organization and Degree of Pocahontas Organization street closure.
And I second.
I have a motion made by Dr. Brandon Harrell, Councilman Brandon Harrell. I'm butchering everything this morning, this afternoon, and Councilwoman Smith. Any discussion on that? If not, Willie, you got good vote with your clicker, please. Motion passed. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
for your
All right,
service.
thank you, thank you. Next up, we have Mr. William Augustus Perry Jr.
I come out of total respect and honor to this town and to the town council. I come to request for voted resolution and written resolution by the town of Winterville Town Council to release full control of former public street property known as St. Amman Lane within the Baywood Drive development in accordance with NCGS 13696. I, William Augustus Perry, owner of 492 Baywood Drive, comes before the council for this written and voted resolution. I have made declaration of withdrawal of St. Amman Lane property after over 15 years that Winterville abandoned this property, never maintaining the property and never using the grass over so-called street for public use. It was dedicated to town of Winterville in 2008. My declaration of withdrawal was made on February the 10th, 2026. I approached Mr. Stephen Penn about my intentions, and he referred me to Edward Lassiter, town of Winterville attorney. Mr. Lassiter has given me nothing but empty promises to take care of this matter many, many times, but never delivering a release of controlled resolution. I have since writing this presentation, I received today on my email, an email letter from Mr. Lassiter saying that the property was not under Winterville control. That's false. This property has never been used for its intended purpose. All property owners in Baywood Drive have access to their property directly off Baywood Drive, just as I do. My property, lot number 7, was reduced in size to make the so-called St. Amman Lane property. No other lots were reduced according to plat. I plan to upgrade the property and incorporate it into my existing residential lot. The former St. Amman Lane property does flood and floods my current property. My upgrades will prevent that. The property to the south of St. Amman Lane does have direct access to its property, just as I do, and every property owner in Baywood Drive community. I had to maintain former St. Amman Lane, exhausting my physical and financial well-being to keep it maintained since 2015 when I purchased my property in many ways, cutting the grass, filling holes, etc. It is clear that I have good intentions for this property. Therefore, a voted upon and written resolution is requested by me in order to move forward to have survey completed, contact the tax office, and to have order by Pitt County Superior Court Judge delivery order for transfer of ownership to me. I have patiently waited for over 6 months without progress by the town of Winterville and or its attorney to provide resolution to release control of this property. I now request voted and written resolution through the town of Winterville Town Council to act appropriately and professionally. Respectfully, W.A. Perry Jr., 492 Baywood Drive, Winterville, North Carolina, 28590.
Yes, I'm gonna refer to attorney.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I agree with Mr. Perry that he has waited for some time for me to respond. He originally reached out to me on February the 11th, I believe. I called him on February the 12th, and I started my research into this matter. I looked at the declaration of.
Sorry, I can't hear.
That's fine. That's fine. I looked at the declaration that he filed. It references a statute 13696. It's a statute that I've had no prior experience with, so quite frankly, I did start the research, but it did take me some time to finish the research. The intervening months, as far as my involvement with the town, have been rather extensive, and so I did finish my research, and I emailed him a response. It actually was sent out last Friday. Guess he saw it maybe earlier today. In that response, I told him that the statute that he references, it envisions a private withdrawal of the dedication of the street for public use. It was a private matter. The town would not be involved in that abandonment of the public use. The statute's very clear, either the entity or the person that dedicated it, which was the subdivider of Baywood subdivision, or anyone that has the right to claim through that dedicator, which Mr. Perry has filed the declaration back, as he mentioned, in February. I cannot say for certain whether or not he is a person that can claim through the rights of the dedicator. I've looked at a number of cases that have been filed, and quite frankly, I question whether he is a person that could claim. But he prepared the document and he filed it with the Register of Deeds, which is what the statute requires. Per the statute, that is the process to go through to terminate or abandon the public use of St. Ammon Lane. So he's filed the right document. Again, the question is whether or not he has the actually right to do that. So I sent him the email saying that the town actually plays no role in this particular matter. That is a private matter, either the dedicator or somebody having the rights to do that. And as to he mentioned that, I mean, I said in my email that the streets are not under town control, the streets in Baywood. The town has never accepted a dedication of those streets. We do not maintain them. We've never maintained them. You can drive through the subdivision and tell they're, probably need some maintenance, but the town has no responsibility to maintain those streets. As that, we're never accepted that dedication. Therefore, there's no responsibility of the town to maintain them. I'll be glad to answer any questions the council has of me.
Mr. Perry, Baywood is actually in the county, correct?
Yes, it's in the county, but it's under the jurisdiction of Winterville.
It's under our planning jurisdiction.
Right.
We have not annexed Baywood. Right. It is not it's not within our corporate limits.
Right. That's why I initially contacted Mr. Penn.
Have you talked with the county? Have you spoke with the planning department?
I have spoke to the county and the county planning department. They tell me that the plat shows that the property was dedicated to the town of Winterville, and it's been recorded, and it's in the books, and it was done in 2008, which is over 15 years ago, which allows it for, that hasn't been used for its intentional use, or maintained, or abandoned, then ownership can be obtained. by way of the general statute.
And that's what the statute says,
Right.
15 years if it hasn't been used. It's determined to be abandoned, but somebody has to file the document to start the process. And I've already spoken to who has the ability to do that. He is referencing a 2008 map that was recorded by the subdivider of Baywood subdivision. And it says on there, the little box is checked, and it says a number of things, but it says that they are dedicating the streets to a public use. The town never accepted them.
Oh, the
It
town
not,
never
o-
accepted.
it not only states that St. Amand Lane is dedicated for public use, it says Baywood Drive is dedicated for public use.
And that's what it says, but again, the town has never voted to accept those streets. And I'm sure that's because of the financial commitment that would probably come with that.
Baywood Drive has been used for public use, but St. Amand Lane has not.
It's not, it's grassed. It's never been
It's a
open.
grass-covered paper street,
Okay, thank you, sir.
and I await the decision by the town council.
Thank you. Anyone else have any discussion?
Do we have the authority to make that decision? Okay.
He's asking for a resolution, and again, as I've stated, as these streets are not have not been accepted by the town, not maintained or controlled by the town. I don't think that the town is the proper entity to provide a resolution. If this was within the town, it'd be a completely different matter, but they have not been accepted.
Could I add something, sir? If you don't mind?
Yes, sir.
Because it is platted as being dedicated, and the fact that it has not been used for its intended use. The general statute, 13696, does mention that a town does have the responsibility involved in this process as the governing body, so to speak. But I can't take this issue to get it surveyed or to take it to the tax office or even take it to the Superior Court. The Superior Court needs an order. And I have to take the declaration that I initiated and a resolution saying that the property has been released in order for the order to be written by the Superior Court judge.
But just to respond to that, the statute mentions nothing about this going to Superior Court. I'm not
And
sure
I
where,
got- I
I'm
got
not
that
sure, I'm not sure where Mr. Perry, is getting that, but the statute purely says that if the person who created the public use, the dedicator, which is the subdivider, signs the declaration to abandon it, that's it. Boom, it's over. You don't have to go to Superior Court. You don't need anything. That's all it takes. And that was when I responded, I said my suggestion was first, but he needs to talk with an attorney. But number two, if that developer, dedicator will sign the declaration, it's over, it's done. It's just that simple. You don't need to go to Superior Court.
understand you. I'm sorry.
Why don't, I called you a couple times today. What, if you would maybe take my call, I'll be glad to call you tomorrow and we can chat if you would like to talk to me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Perry.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, King.
If I may, I do have a question. Town Manager Parker, who on our staff can help this gentleman to help guide him through the process? Even though I know that you're going to call him, Attorney Lassiter, but it just seems like, is there someone on our staff that could maybe point him or connect him with who he needs to speak with after speaking with Attorney Lassiter?
So I think because it's not a town of Winterville matter, it's more of a legal matter at this point. Keen's probably the most appropriate person to guide him to those next steps.
Okay. And Attorney Lassiter, if you could give us an update, that'd be great.
I'll call him tomorrow and, but I'm gonna tell him the same thing I've said tonight. But I'll be glad to let you know what if anything came from that.
Thank you. It just sounds like he needs some sort of, other guidance or, or resources, even though you're gonna tell him the same thing. To me, it just seems like, and what I'm hearing from him, the different patterns is he just needs some extra guidance. So I'd like for us to, however we can do that, even though it may not be, our jurisdiction or things of that nature, but, just piggybacking on what Mr. Hamby said, like collaboration, partnership, and just kind of seeing him come up here for this type of help, if we could, extend some other type of help. I'd like to see that.
The other thing, Dr. Harrell, is that he probably can reach out to the county attorney.
Okay.
And the county attorney, wouldn't you recommend that to King? He reach out to the Pitt County attorney and let them, because it's actually it's in the county.
Yes, sir. It is in the county.
And they probably share the same advice.
They probably would.
Right.
The simple solution would be for him to speak to the subdivider of the subdivision. It's my understanding that person is still alive.
Okay.
And ask that person if they would sign the same declaration that he more or less did. I think that ends it right there.
Okay, so well there it is. Just tell them to reach out.
And that was in my email to him. But I'll be glad to reinforce that.
Okay, thank you so much.
And I noticed that he's also a veteran. I'm quite sure there's some services offered by the Winterville Veterans Office that could be of assistance to him in this legal matter, that being a legal matter.
All right, thank you. All right, as we move on now to, there's no old business.
Consent agenda.
Gosh, I'm moving there. Next up is consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilwoman Robinson, second by Councilwoman Smith to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion?
Just a reminder that number 1 has been omitted.
Okay. If not, I'm sorry, I didn't see.
Yes, and so the approval of council meeting minutes was removed prior to me arriving.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a reason, or?
I just think that due to the volume of the minutes themselves, Don and I just were working on a couple of things. We needed a little bit more time.
And then we'll get them.
Yes, ma'am.
later. Okay.
And there won't be super substantive changes, but we just need to spend a little more time on it.
Thank you. And yes, as part of my additional discussion on consent agenda, I just want to ensure that, because I could not find a packet online for the details in the consent agenda, which should have been in the lobby and on the website. If somebody could share, because where,
excuse me. All of the items were included in the agenda packet behind consent agenda.
on the website for?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Where? Somebody?
Right behind the minutes,
So
which,
On consent agenda in minutes, go in government and then meeting and then minutes. And then is it consent agenda? Because I tried to navigate, and the premise of me asking this is not for me, but for residents, citizens, anybody who wants to find it. How do they navigate? Because I could not find it. That is why I'm bringing it up.
So the consent agenda, starting with the council meeting minutes.
On
And
the
you-
minutes,
you can
uh-huh.
always find in the abstract in the upper right-hand corner, the item section will tell you what part of the agenda it's found under. So page 10 are where the minutes begin.
And they can conclude, I believe, on page 90, because the second item begins on page 91 of the packet.
Right, so the consent agenda in total will end
Okay.
on page, give me one moment.
On page 90 and 91, the average person looking at the agenda is gonna go through several meeting minutes. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so so if they're going through several meeting minutes, are they making that connection that it's nestled in page 90? I'm just being honest.
Sure, there's an abstract at the beginning of every consent agenda item. The cover page, I'll call it. So the consent agenda in total, which encompasses all of the items listed under consent agenda, can be found starting on page 10 and ending on page 109. And everything in between page 10 and page 109 is the consent agenda. Does that make sense?
Okay. So it's beginning, so if we're on page 10, that's the consent agenda.
That's the beginning of the consent
Okay.
agenda,
And then it goes to, okay.
and it ends on 109.
Device. Okay. Thank you. And I will explain that as well, because it was difficult for me to find and navigate through. In addition, thank you for that. I do have a question about each of the items. So I guess the average, I'm talking about layman's terms.
Sure.
And I'm thinking about the average person who is now gonna, they're navigating through at least 80 to 90 pages, right, of a consent agenda, and they're looking at tax settlement, tax charge, budget amendments, and things of that nature. How is it a way where some of this can be summarized in a bulleted format or a concise manner for someone? Now, if this is something that has never happened in this town or any other town, that's understandable. But to look at a consent agenda of this magnitude and the average, a citizen, a resident who is not equipped to decipher the jargon, how would they understand? I'm just asking because we're on it. I'm
Ms.
not
Parker,
trying to be
could I
difficult. I'm
comment?
trying to
Just a second.
have, get clarity
Sure.
for the public.
So each item is numbered, as you see
Yes.
under consent
Mhm,
agenda.
I have it.
And the beginning of each consent agenda item has this abstract, which is what I'll call tantamount to a cover page. It has item section consent
Right.
agenda. Here's tax settlement. In the supporting documentation, it talks about the state of North Carolina requiring the tax collector. It explains what that item is. And so then we would go to the next item, which is the chart where we charge the tax collector to collect this 2627 levy. So each of the abstracts, the purpose of that is to give the person reading the agenda packet sort of a summary as to what the item itself is about.
And I thank you and I appreciate you for pointing that out, that cover sheet to the abstract.
Right.
Again, I don't know if in the future there could be some sort of workshop on wording. Some people don't know what some of these words are and what they mean and amounts and things of that nature.
We could probably,
I just think it would be beneficial.
we could probably put some
Because
very
it's a lot.
simplistic instructions on how the agenda packet is put together and what people could look for. Don, I don't know what you were gonna say. Okay.
The abstracts are sort of in a bulleted format to explain what the item is, and if there happens to be any needed backup material or exhibits, as we call them, I
Yes.
think, then they're right behind that where they can see the items. And we put as you all requested, we put a copy in the front lobby. And I will always be glad to answer any questions anyone has relative to the agenda.
Thank you so much, and for you being available. If they're reading the abstract, and if they're reading through these 80 pages, if they have questions for this to be broken down for them, I think that there's a need for that. And thank you, because it is a lot. And so for me, I have a question about number 4. Can somebody please help me with that? And I looked at the abstract. Somebody explain.
That's the budget amendment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask Miss Manning to join us at the podium.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. The budget amendment, can you explain it to me?
So the first item is to increase the grant revenue line item by $100,400, and that's for the Mill Street sidewalk grant. And then the next item.
Okay. Before you go to the next item, the Mill Street sidewalk grant. So we're increasing the budget amendment on that. We're increasing for that specific amount. Is there any detail or explanation for that increase? That's the type of questions I have. When we see it's going to be increased, or we're requesting that increase, what is the purpose of that increase? Is it needed for something via safety, or why is that needed now? That is my question.
So that's for, and Anthony might have to speak on more of what the grant is for, if that's what you're asking. Are you asking more details about the grant itself?
So what you just read, was that was there additional amount asked for?
We received a grant.
You received a grant.
The town received a grant in that amount of money for the Mill Street sidewalk project.
So that is not any additional monies being asked?
No, it's money coming in.
Coming in as a grant. Thank you. That's all my question is. And these are just average questions. If somebody reads it, right? So this is a grant for the Mill Street project that because when you see budget amendment, you think it's having an effect on our budget. But what it's doing is adding that grant to our budget.
Sure, and you have to show the appropriate expenditure line items so that it equals in both your revenues and expenses. So it does have an effect on the budget. You are correct. Right. But yes, ma'am, that when money comes in, then we have to show where that money would be expended. So under Section 2, you would then see $100,400 expenditure in the NCDOT Mill Street sidewalk project.
Thank you. Can you go to the next one?
So the next item is kind of the same thing for the Safe Streets for All Transportation Safety Grant. So that's increasing the revenue line item for that.
Okay. And that will affect the budget again via expenditures in intricacies falling up under that. Okay, thank you. The next one.
So, and then all the other items are actually open purchase orders from the last fiscal year that had not been closed out, that needed to be rolled over into our new fiscal year. So they were like open projects that had not been completed or invoices that hadn't been paid yet. So we have to roll those over into the new fiscal year in order to complete those projects and pay those invoices.
Thank you so much, Ms. Manning. My question is, why weren't they rolled over before or during the meeting? Or has the project just been completed or bill due? That's my question.
So we can't roll them over until the new fiscal year. So these are just so happen if it hasn't been completed, like right at year end.
Right at the
June 30th.
June, are we speaking?
As of June 30th.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
That was my question.
Sure. So Councilwoman Hawkins, every year in August, there are always purchase orders where money's encumbered for various projects. And inevitably, we don't finish all the projects. We try to get as many done as possible, but due to timing, so there's usually a rollover of a few purchase orders in addition to outstanding bills we may not have received from the vendor yet that will have to be paid out of the 25-26 budget that just ended. So that's why you'll always see this big budget amendment in August of every year, because some of that business still yet to be taken care of from last year's rolled over into this year.
Understandable. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Could we, vote? Are you finished, Councilman?
Yes, that was my question.
Oh, okay, all right. So could we, now, vote on the, consent agenda?
Didn't we already vote?
No, we haven't voted. We haven't voted.
That was discussion.
That was discussion, right, correct. Consent agenda pass, consent agenda pass.
Mayor, if I may, before we go to the next item, I would also encourage anybody, any resident or constituent, if there is a question, Town Clerk Harvey is very gracious to answer those, but you can reach out to any council member as well, and we will try to assist if you have trouble accessing the abstracts or any of the consent items or anything in the agenda. I know I would be happy to do so, and I'm sure that anybody on the council would.
I'd like to also just say something before we move on about the budget amendment. Town Manager Parker, I think that if we could, as a council, have an understanding where projects stand.
Sure.
I think that, it would help us with the anticipation of future budget needs and increases and things of that nature. So I'm not sure how this would fit in as far as like reporting to us. So we'll, it won't be maybe some sort of surprise or, questions. We'll already know that this certain project, X project, wasn't finished, and it'll be part of the carryover because it's a normal part of municipal government to carry over budget. So if we could have something,
we can do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so there's no old business. Now we move over into new business, and first up is the Shepherd Library Board appointment, and currently Councilman Moore serves on the Shepherd Memorial Library Board.
Yes.
I would like to offer.
Hold on, I was going to ask Councilman Moore, would he like to continue?
Yes, I'll be more than glad to continue, but
Right.
yes,
Right.
yes, I'll be more than glad to continue.
And now, Councilwoman Robinson.
I would like to offer a motion that reappoint Councilman Moy to our position on the Shepherd Library Board.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Robinson, second by Councilwoman Dr. Brandon Burrell, to reappoint Mr. Councilman Johnny Moore to the Shepherd Memorial Library Board. Is there any discussion? If none, please use your clicker. A motion carried. Thank you all. Next up is the Human Relation Board resignation and appointment and abstract. First of all, Councilwoman Hawkins, want to thank you for your dedication to the board and your service to the board on the Human Relation Council, and also to Shantasia, I'm sorry. I won't mess it up. Shantasia, we will also like to thank her for her service as well. And as y'all can see, they both sent in their resignations. So now is to accept the resignation. First, we need to accept Councilwoman Hawkins. We're gonna do it. We need to do it in stages, right?
We can do it.
We can do it together. I'm just asking. Or you can put it all on one?
I mean, just as long as the motion is clear that, you know, accept recommendation of both.
Okay.
It could be done on one.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're doing it right. Okay. Is it, how you got the slide set up together? Okay, all right. All right. We need a motion to accept the resignation from Councilwoman Hawkins and Fantasia Morris. Okay. All right.
Make a motion that we, I'm sorry, are you guys saying that it's all together, making the motion to accept the resignations and the appointment, or the appointment is second?
Just the
Okay,
resignation.
all right.
Just the resignation.
I make the motion to accept the resignations of Councilwoman Chantel Hawkins as well as Shantasia Morris, the resignation from the Human Relations Board.
I second.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Motion made by Councilwoman Dr. Brandon Harrell, second by Councilwoman Hawkins, to accept the resignation. Is there any discussions?
Yes, Mayor. I do have a quick discussion. I wanted to be clear and let the people of Winterville understand my reasoning for resignation. It was time for me to move on, in addition to us having our first budget meeting, and there was discussion in terms of council persons by the mayor, council persons that you would recommend that council persons do not serve on volunteer boards, but be council liaisons. I, being the only council person serving on a volunteer board, understood that that was directed towards me. I'm not going to delve into the reasonings or why. I just want the Human Relations Board, as well as the Winterville community, to know that I was serving on the board for my passion and commitment to aiming to connect the human spirit and human relations, as well as my daughter, who is a college student here. It was simply dedication and nothing else. We were happy to help, along with Ms. Rashana Carmen, construct the roadmap and the various things that went on in terms of human relations and the activities, and I am confident that it will continue. So that is my discussion, and thank you.
Thank you. Can we vote, please? Motion carried. Thank you. And just a sidebar, if on that there, Councilwoman Hawkins, I'll be glad to step out of the liaison role and let you be the liaison to the board, because it's still your passion and you still will have access and be a part of that. The reason I'm the liaison, because no one stepped up to take the liaison part, but I'll be willing to step aside and where you still would be a part of that board, because that is your passion. So you will be a part of the board as the liaison from the council.
Mayor, at this time, I would have to decline.
Okay.
And I thank you. I would have to decline, but I will constantly be involved. It is a long road when you're a part of a board and you're volunteering and you have a daughter who wants to be a part of it and give her passion because she's in school for human services, and it just did not go well. But we will be available for our town, and I thank you for that offer.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
as far as appointments go, the intention is to try to get some applications out to the high schools and the colleges so we can fill those positions, which will, in most cases, we know that the high school ones are going off to college, and they have let us know. So we will bring those back at a future meeting for action.
Thank you, sir. All right. Next up is approval award of fire training facility contract. Chief Moore.
Good evening again. This item is the award of fire training facility bid to Forge Fire and Company. This was sent out in an RFP format back in April. It was advertised April 23rd and 25th in the Reflector and also on the town website. Four proposals were received on May 22nd. And of those, Forge Fire was the responsible lowest bidder.
Chief, would you just quickly go over what this is for?
This is for the burn facility down behind the Operations Center. And the other important detail is we received the majority of the funding from the federal budget appropriation. That's a key piece of information. Some of the other bidders there, they either weren't responsible or responsive because they didn't submit a complete proposal by the guidelines. But Forge Fire was the best overall proposal.
And the federal appropriation was $750,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay.
Here to make a motion.
I do have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
You said the majority of the funds would be from the federal grant or the federal appropriations. What is the amount that the town would have to match or would have to pay?
It's the difference in $750,000 and $779,650.
And also, will other surrounding agencies be able to utilize the facility, or is it just?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. We do a lot with the departments around us already.
Okay, and will this facility reduce training costs?
I guess so, because we won't have to fund
Gotcha.
that $750.
Right. Okay, all right, well, thank you so much.
I'd like to make a motion
Okay.
to accept the proposal and recommend from the council the award bid to Forge Fire and Company.
Second.
Okay. All right. Have a motion made by Councilman Moore, second by Councilwoman Hawkins, to accept the award of fire training facility bid to Forge Fire Company. Forge Fire and Company, correct? That's it. All right. Any discussion? If not, quicker. Motion carried. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next up.
Can I make maybe one more
Yes, sir.
comment? We just want to thank everyone who participated in get this grant for our county and for our town, for our community, for our citizens. And like the question that were asked, it's not only for the town of Winterville, to serve. It's for the whole county. So I think that's a win-win situation. I want to thank everyone who participated in making this happen. Need to be job well done.
Thank you. Next up is Assistant Town Manager Anthony Fowler.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Tonight we have before you the request for acceptance of bid from Mead and Hunt for Safe Streets for All Safety program. As you heard earlier tonight, we had a great presentation from Mr. Hemby, who is on our Vision Zero Task Force. This goes right along with the work that we're doing with Vision Zero Task Force. It's been a work in progress. We were able to work to get a grant through the Federal Highway Administration for $76,800. And this grant will allow the town to develop a what we call a Safe Streets for All. You might see the acronym SS4A as we move through this process. This comprehensive safety action plan will basically be a process. The engineering firm will come in. They'll do assessments on data from traffic accidents. They'll look at historical things. They'll look at facilities. And they'll put together a comprehensive plan. They do these things all across the country. All of these firms three of them were very highly recommended. They could have gone either way. We received 4 proposals: Mead and Hunt Incorporated, Kittleson and Associates, Timmons Group, and Wise Business Plans LLC. And so this is a grant from the Federal Highway Administration, and we have a match of $19,200 for a total budget of $96,000. This project is expected to take 12 months, and it will include, again, the assessment of conditions within the town, as well as historical data, and also citizen input. So we'll have opportunity for citizens to come out to charrettes and things of that nature to have input into what their concerns are. Not necessarily, not only citizens, but anybody who uses our streets. So it's going to be the users of the streets will be available. We'll have surveys and things of that nature. One of the reasons Mead and Hunt is recommended because their use of technology to gather and collect data and use of a website. So one of their proposals included putting this information out in front of the public as a process. And so this was advertised in the Daily Reflector on June 15th. It was advertised in the Daily Reflector and we received bids on June 15th. And Mead and Hunt had the highest score when it was calculated, and their proposal was $75,545. So it is under budget. And so we're asking the council to accept the bid from Mead and Hunt Incorporated.
Any questions? Anybody have any questions?
I do. I have a question. Can you tell me and anybody listening, what is the difference between your proposal for the Safe Streets for All and Vision Zero? Because we just heard a presentation with lots of similarities, and I know they're giving a grant. And then also, how could they work collectively with the current Vision Zero? How does that work?
So consider Vision Zero as the broad view of what the town's trying to do. We got local people, local stakeholders that come to our monthly meetings who give input, and we talk about things that we can do to make improvements in the area. This is only a component of what Vision Zero does. You may recall that we recently had a bike and pedestrian plan that we received a grant for as well. And so that bike ped plan is going through a similar process, except for the state handled majority of like the RFQ aspect of it. So Kittleson, which was one of the proposers here, we'll be working with them. We've been working with them on a regular basis to have conversation about safe routes for our bicyclists and our pedestrians. And so that study is going on, and then we'll have this study going on as well. And so when you think about Vision Zero, it's kind of like trying to pull in all these various components and see where these are new things for us. These aren't things we've done in Winterville before. So we're kind of reaching out and doing things we haven't done. And we're going to take all these studies and we'll bring them together, and Vision Zero is an integral guiding light, so to speak, when it comes to reviewing all these. Their stakeholders are involved in the process all the way through, and it's just a collaborative effort from Vision Zero to the various studies. And then the Safe Streets for All component is going to allow us to build basically a capital improvements program, an implementation plan. From there, we can take that and move forward into looking for grants to actually pay for construction. Now you see a lot of our grants are basically studies. That the way the Highway Safety Administration views this is once we get this safety action plan done, any recommendations in there that are recommended from that study, we can start attacking from a financial standpoint, trying to get grants or low interest loans to make improvements in areas that will benefit the town.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the bid proposal from Mead and Hunt for the Winterville Safety Action Plan.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Dr. Brennan Harrell to accept the bid on Mead and Hunt for Safe Streets for All SS4A grant. Any discussion? If none, please use your clicker. Motion carried. Thank you. All right, moving along. Next up is approval of agreement with ECU Health for installation of a blood pressure machine. Is it you, King?
Yes,
You were Terry.
I'll be glad to begin. This is a contract that I've looked at and have worked with ECU Health Medicine to revise the contract. I think it's acceptable, and on a personal level, I think it'll be a good plus for the town. I'll be glad to answer any questions the council has of me.
Yes, Ken, I have one. Is there any point that the town itself will be owner of it eventually?
I don't. That's a great question. I don't think ultimately it's going to be ours. I think we will keep it here as long as we have the contract. I don't think we're purchasing it. It's sort of on loan, if you will. I will say that one thing I learned that there are different levels of blood pressure machines. I think this is one of the nicer models because there's no required calibration. It's the top of the line, if you will.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Is there one in the library? Yeah. In the information thing there.
Yes, there is one in the library, and I'm glad you asked that question. I was going to ask, if I may, where will the station or stations be located? The blood pressure stations, will it be at the town hall, or where will they be located?
My understanding is at the town hall in the lobby.
Okay, so it will be 2 locations with blood pressure. Okay, gotcha.
I don't think a lot of the citizens are aware of that information that's in the library. Dr. Rao, will you kind of go over there with them?
Sure, and I'm hoping that they have been aware. It was publicized on the news station. We've had presentations at our council meetings, but to the citizens, the ECU Health has actually partnered with the Shepherd Memorial Library, in which you all are able to go and get your blood pressure screened. And also, there's a QR code, or there is information. If you speak with Miss Amanda over at the library, she is the ECU Health, as they call them, the ambassador for the health screenings. And she can give you and direct you with the information. You will be able to utilize the equipment. There is, well, this is an iPad, but there's a laptop in which you will be able to log in and speak with a medical provider if that appointment is available. If there's no appointment available, then they can give you an appointment, and then you would be able to come back and see that provider. It covers, there's information that covers transportation, if there are jobs available that you're looking for resources, food resources, as well as mental health resources as well. So I would encourage anyone that has questions about it to reach out to our librarian or Miss Amanda over at the library, and also you can call, or you can actually just stop into the library, and she can give you that information. Thank you.
Thank you.
I was very impressed with the amount of information that was available in that big notebook.
Exactly.
There. in the library. But, I just, disappointed that more people, I feel like, don't know about all the resources that are right at their hands that they can, secure information on. So I encourage citizens also to stop by there, especially if you have a need, food or healthcare or whatever, and check out the resources listed there in that notebook.
And we can continue to advertise it on our outlets as well.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement with ECU Health for the installation of the blood pressure machine in the town hall lobby.
I'll second.
Okay. I have a motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Robinson to approve the agreement with ECU Health to install a blood pressure machine in the town hall lobby. Any discussion?
Insurance purpose, there is no, I mean, we won't be liable for anything. We'll go towards ECU. Is that correct?
The, we are required to maintain insurance. That was part of the agreement. So if there is any liability, the town will be covered through the insurance. I had a number of conversations with the point of contacts, and it's my opinion that any possible liability on the town is nominal, minimal. I think the chances of the town incurring liability from providing this machine to the general public, and of course it'd be just like a machine that you have at CVS or whatnot. You just go in and it sort of tells you what your blood pressure is and you walk out. So I think any liability will be nominal.
Any more discussion? If not, could you use your clicker, please? Motion carried. Thank you. Next up, approval to sell the truck to Town of Griffin manager.
Yes, Mayor, thank you very much. The town of Winterville is blessed to have good relationships with our neighboring entities, and in the past, we have sold Grifton some of our surplus equipment, which they have needed, and we have an opportunity. We have surplus an F-350 Super Duty Ford truck that has a crane arm on it, and Grifton would like to purchase it for $5,000. And staff, including Miss Manning, Mr. McGuffin, have looked into comparable pricing. I believe $5,000 is very fair pricing. There's some email correspondence behind the abstract you can see there. The staff's recommending that the town of Winterville sell this F-350 Super Duty Ford with a crane arm to the town of Grifton in the amount of $5,000.
Any discussion? I mean,
I do have a question. I know in our town, we're growing. And so our ability to sell this, do we have enough? Like, do we have ample enough or something updated to the level to where we can sell this truck?
I believe we purchased a truck that replaced this truck. That's why we've surplus this truck. And we have a heavy duty truck with a crane arm.
Which was more advanced than this.
Correct.
Okay.
And newer, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That was my question.
Motion to approve the sale of the F-350 Ford truck with a crane arm to our sister town of Grifton.
I second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilman Moore, the approval of the sale of a truck to the town of Grifton. Any discussion? If none, please use your clicker. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is NCDOT request to move the town limit sign near Reedy Branch Road and Four Lines Road.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Tonight we have before you a request from NCDOT. They emailed back a few weeks ago, actually a few months ago, wanting to have a conversation about this, want to know if our council had any concerns or questions. Essentially, what NCDOT is interested in doing is basically updating the city limit signs to reflect the actuality of what has transpired with all the annexations. So the area, obviously, that's getting the most attention right now is the Four Lines Road area because of the accidents and the need for more control in the area. And so DOT felt like it would be beneficial for the town and law enforcement to have the city limit signs more reflective of the actuality, and based on what's transpired with the annexations. And so they requested that we present this to the council. And so that's what you have before you tonight. There was a map included with your agenda item. And basically, the green rectangle is a proposal for moving the signs, putting them in 3 locations. One is further west on Davenport Farm Road. You have one on Four Lines Road, and then one down on Reedy Branch Road to the south. So those are the 3 that they were proposing with the proposed locations.
Yes, ma'am.
Assistant Town Manager Bowers, I have a question. I noticed nothing is on tonight. I don't know. And we're having to go back in our stuff, and so I know you said it was pointed out. It would have been better to have it up here so we collectively could see it. But then secondly, when you say they want to change it for the actuality or via the annexation.
Yes, ma'am.
Are they changing it because now it's like more homes, or, because for me, it appeared to me that there was a sign recently, like it looks like new signs were up by the bridge before you get to the little bridge on Four Lines Road. They were brand new, and they would give a time of a speed limit from this time to this time. I'm thinking school hours.
Those are changes associated with some of the conversations we've had with NCDOT about the accidents that have been occurring in the area. This is more based on actual annexations. So when we have a new subdivision come on that's on an NCDOT road, basically they try to relocate the sign, and then it's not a quick process, but normally once the subdivision has been annexed, you have now a much more property or real estate on the state road that's in the city limits. And so the area that's now been brought into the town, they're simply wanting to notify motorists that instead of the sign being here, it actually needs to be over here, is where you're entering the city limits of Winterville. So there you got that. There's another process that's going on and a study that's being done associated with the traffic flow around South Central High School, as well as, but this was a component that they realized could probably help alleviate something by lowering the speeds in those areas to the city limit, speed limit of 35.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And Councilwoman Hawkins, I just kind of help out. Like one day you might see an empty field, but then next thing you see construction going where we annexed it in. So I think that's what they're saying is that's the reason why they need to move the signs back, and so that people know that now you're entering into Winterville at that time, at that point in time.
So those signs would be moved closer to entering that street where Creekside and South Central is, as opposed to further in.
Right.
Is it on the onset of Reedy Branch?
As you're traveling into town on Four Lines, it will be you'll approach that city limit sign sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
And we'll work on the point noted. I understand.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion that we approve the movement of our town limit signs by NCDOT to represent our actual city limits.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Smith, and second by Councilwoman Dr. Brandon Harrell to, the motion is for NCDOT request to move the city limit signs to the proper locations. Okay, any discussion on that? Not, please use clicker. Motion carried. Next up, release of liability for damage to fire hydrant.
One more item here, Mayor. Approval of a release of property damage from Power Grid Services. Back on June 19th, town staff noticed that the fire hydrant had been damaged at the intersection of Old Tar Road and Vernon White. Upon an investigation, it was determined that Power Grid Services, a contractor for GUC who is working on the NCDOT road widening project, had damaged the hydrant. Power Grid Services quickly contacted Tripp Brothers Construction, and they had the hydrant repaired. Conversated with staff, and they are good with the repairs that have been made. This release was sent to Attorney Lassiter for review, and upon his review recommendation, Power Grid made some changes. And so before you tonight, you have a release of damages. Basically, they're just wanting to say that they fixed the problem that they caused, and that there's no other damages that the town's seeking to be repaired.
And Assistant Town Manager Bauer, if I remember correctly, the hydrant has been inspected and approved, and so everything is in working order.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, I would like.
That's why I was gonna ask that the fire department checked it, make sure we're flowing, everything.
Yes. So I
And
would
our
like
water,
to make a motion.
Our water department did as well.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the release of liability of Power Grid from the damage of the hydrant.
Have a motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Robinson, the approval of the release of the property damage from Power Grid Services. Any discussion?
Yes, I do
Yes,
have
ma'am.
discussion again, really quickly. As we're speaking about damages to hydrants or properties or different things regarding, and the town replacing it or liability, I don't know if this is a right time to mention it, but when do we address an accident that occurred where a pole was hit and lights in the street was shut? How is that addressed? Who's liable? How does that work? That's my discussion.
So typically what happens if there's damages to town property, there's a police report done, and we'll submit it to the North Carolina League of Insurance. If somebody, League of Municipalities, excuse me, who is our insurance provider, typically they'll work with the property, whoever damaged the property or their representatives to work out some agreement to get the town reimbursed.
Yes.
And so that's typically how that process works. We kind of let the professionals handle getting the reimbursement back. This one was a little unique in that they were willing to go ahead and get it fixed. But our standard process is when something is damaged to town property, the police report's done, we submit a claim to our insurance agency, and then the insurance agency will either reach out to that person who did the damages, insurance company, or, we have been in a situation where we actually had to, get into lawsuits with other people. Maybe it wasn't a motorist, maybe it was another company doing a bore or something along those lines. So we have kind of run the gamut a little bit on different scenarios, but typically our standard process is to use our insurance company.
And thank you. And so the understanding is, in an instance of properties being damaged by accidents, there is a police report, there's follow-up via insurance, and then the town is reimbursed for, because we need lights and a pole back up, and that happened that day. So I guess the understanding is that will be forthcoming, or how does that work? Will we know when it's reimbursed? Do we ask again, or do we leave it alone? How does that work?
It varies on how fast things proceed, depending on the timing of the incident, and how fast the insurance companies can get things worked out. Typically, there are instances where we'll just straight out invoice somebody, and the insurance company will use that invoice, but it'll include time and materials for our town staff and any materials that were used, and that's what gets reported to the insurance agency.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
If you could use your clickers, please. Motion carried. Thank you. All right. Other agenda items, first up is, traffic stops, Pavilion Review Board vote and recent data comparison and next steps. Councilwoman Hawkins.
I just want to quickly share that for any citizens watching and for any citizens who are present, as well as town council, we had an opportunity during our last meeting to explore having a civilian review advisory board. It was voted down, so it did not pass. But I just think that it is incumbent upon the town to know that they still do have rights. They still do have opportunities to find out data and to look at patterns. I think that, you know, just for us in leadership, looking at patterns, looking at disparities will help us as municipal leaders to put actions in place, to refine policies, to look at stops, regulatory stops, and things that we can do to decrease the disparity. In looking at the data overall in 2024, from 2024 to 2025, there was 63% of Black drivers who accounted for the stops, while there were only 28.2% of white drivers stopped. This is not being made up. This is from the State Bureau of Investigation traffic stops. I'd also like to note that as of 2026, July 1st, North Carolina state legislators put inside the budget bill that there would no longer be racial disparities of traffic stops noted and reported. So it is incumbent upon all municipal leaders to still keep an eye on it, whether it was passed or not. These are people, and as Mr. Hemby said in Vision Zero, that these are people being stopped. They are do their right and constitutional right, but for whatever they were stopped. Most of the stops are for regulatory stops. So how do we address that? Do we continue stopping hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people for lights and blinkers and stuff, as opposed to finding ways in which we can minimize this, finding ways where we can utilize these stops to use them as minor equipment stops and doing something about it via education. So that is what I wanted to say. These stops have continued to be 2.3 to 2.5 times the rate of any other race, Black people being stopped. And although the Civilian Review Advisory Board was voted down, I think it is very, very important that we all keep an eye on it. I have been speaking about it. Another council person, colleague have spoken about it. And I think it is important for all of us to keep an eye on it because we are a community. That is what I had to say on that.
Thank you. Next up is building inspection, internal process, keeping the citizen informed. Councilwoman Hawkins.
Yes, Mayor and fellow council, I just want to emphasize that raising this issue is not personal, is not reflective of any single individual's work. It is about ensuring our municipality remains transparent in terms of building inspections and of that nature. It was brought to our attention, myself and other council members back in April, about a discrepancy in terms of building inspections and, having appeals put forth. I didn't know much about it. I tried to ask about it. I researched about it, and I just wanted to share publicly that I believe, Town Manager Parker, that our town has now, I guess is on the website. I didn't see it, but that we are making our citizens aware that they have the opportunity to appeal any building inspections that were not passed. Is that?
So I believe the instance you are referring to, and Evan, thank you for coming up, is pertaining to what the state calls an informal internal review. And that is something that folks who are having projects done and they have inspections being conducted by the town, that's something that they are now being made aware that they have access to if an inspection has been turned down or not passed for some reason. Evan, I don't know if you wanted to mention anything about that. It is printed on the inspection document itself.
Yeah, that's correct. So general statutes requires that that is printed on the permits. Of course, in today's day and age, most everything in our line of work, as well as most of the general comings and goings of everyday life, are electronic. So, not many people really see building permits anymore, but that is on our building permit document. It's emailed to the permit holders. They can view it online, things of that nature. But yes, ma'am, that internal informal review process is available and posted accordingly.
Okay.
So once that is done, and it is informal, so I think that's the word we need to focus on. At any point in time, someone has the ability and could reach out to the state if they have an issue that they wanted to speak about. But again, once the informal internal review is conducted and the decision made by the committee, then that's pretty much where it ends in terms of the town is concerned.
I have two. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Johnston. I just want to point out that goes for the window of permit holders from July 1st, 2021 through January 2025 and then on. That this appeal applies to them as well.
I want to make sure I understand what you're stating.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read
Okay.
what I'm stating and that. So notice to citizens that they have a right to appeal was just brought to my attention in April. But in this this impacts those people who were getting inspections prior to April 2026.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So it, if they didn't know,
Right.
they wouldn't have known to put in a appeal.
Correct.
So I'm just saying that if they have had that they were eligible for that prior to April
Thank you.
when I
I'm
was
with you
made
now.
aware.
Right.
And that is all I'm saying. And it is not being done to say a job wasn't done or
Right.
not, because I
Absolutely.
don't know about building inspections.
Right.
But what I am doing in my capacity, sharing it for it to be transparent to the community. And if anyone has any questions, they can reach out to council. As Councilwoman Elisa Smith said, reach out to all council to ask questions. Reach out to our building inspector,
Absolutely.
Mr. Johnston, or town manager, because we
Absolutely.
are here to serve and answer your questions. And if something is not right, try to make it right.
Yes, ma'am.
Or try to explain.
Yes, ma'am.
That was my item.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is environment response to rapid population growth, Councilwoman Hawkins.
And yes, Mayor, just really quickly, I wanted to, I would be remiss if I did not mention our environment. I mentioned our environment back in December, and I was talking about solar energy. During my time out in campaigning and just speaking with the community, there was a lot of conversation in terms of our environment, our growing population. And the more people we get, the more population, we have more traffic, we have more pollution. And I know we previously spoke about some things that are put in place in terms of when buildings are being designed so that they can be environmentally friendly. I just want us as a town, as we're growing by 1,000 or over in population each year, that we keep the environment in mind in terms of, like I brought up before, town-based transportation. We may not be able to go to that extent, but we can encourage carpooling. We can encourage recycling and the needs or the reasons why we should recycle. We can encourage a lot of things to address our environment that is growing. We see natural disasters and things of that nature. Perhaps our wonderful fire department can do some sort of workshops in terms of the environment and you know how we can try to preserve and reserve that. So that was my point. I just wanted to mention and to let the citizens who have entrusted me and us that this is not, forgotten. Solar energy is not forgotten. And I don't know, we don't have any developers tonight. We don't have any developers, but if any prospective developers are coming in and wanting to build in Winterville, for them to think of that as well, because it is very important. More people, more population, and more pollution. Thank you.
And Councilwoman Hawkins, I don't know if you are attending the Electric City Conference that's coming up this month. I was going to say, because there will be somewhere where you could, on that solar part of it, could talk with some of, because there'll be a lot of electric pipe provider people who maybe could glean some information from,
Mayor, one last thing. I know I mentioned back in December about something called a green bond. And a green bond is like an incentive provided to developers when they build and green,
Okay.
yeah, green bond. And that helps them to encourage them to build more environmentally friendly solar panels and things of that nature for electricity. And I guess just teaching our youth, and maybe even could be implemented with the Human Relations Board, how that can be effective when we put our environment first.
Okay, thank you. Next up is items for future agenda and future work session. Number one, is Terry, you want to speak to it?
Sure. We do have an upcoming workshop in September. It'll be Monday, September 28th at 5:30 here in the Assembly Room. The subject of that workshop, and this will be on our quarterly workshop schedule, will be policies, procedures, and ordinances. I anticipate that one workshop won't cover everything that we'll need to talk about, but it'll certainly get us started. And then our next workshop will be early in December. It'll be Monday, December 7th, 2026. That could be a continuation of our policy discussion, depending on how much progress we made. So.
All right, next up is our quarterly reports. I know y'all dying to get to the money. We're gonna start with Hamilton at the end down there. I always make him last.
Call the police department.
There we go.
Good evening, everybody, again. For this quarter, April, May, and June of 2026, the police department continued with their collaborative effort of positive reinforcement, proactive enforcement, and community efforts. We had a total of 1,572 calls for service for this quarter. That was an increase of 6.4% over the 1,477 that we had last quarter. Within some of that, proactive enforcement did do 10 DWI investigations, 13 involuntary commitment investigations, and out of those 13, I want to emphasize that there was no incidents in those 13. I think I'm at 99%, maybe 100% CIT certified right now, so that plays a big role in being able to speak to these individuals, know what resources to use, and to get them the help they deserve without having to put the hands on the individuals. We also, for the community engagement events, we continued our Coffee with a Cop program, we continued the Senior Watch program, and we added the coffee and conversation. We started off with the police department this month, August 14th. We're going to add the fire department along with us. We're going to do that in collaboration with National Night Out and the summer back to school bash, sorry. But it's another opportunity for individuals to meet with us outside of work hours in a time frame that might be more beneficial to those who can't make it to the 9 o'clock third Friday. So that's going to be August 14th is the next one. It's Friday in Market on the Square between 4 and 7 p.m. So we'll have drinks out there and some snacks, but it's another effort for us to get out there and get with the community and have conversations and make meaningful change. Also, with our traffic enforcement initiatives as part of the Governor Highway Safety Program, we participated in 3 campaigns for the last quarter. We did Speed a Little, Lose a Lot, Move Over, Get Pulled Over, and then a Memorial Day Click It or Ticket campaign, which we did collaborative efforts with agencies in the area doing checkpoint saturation patrols and get out and educate individuals, not just issuing citations, but letting them know, hey, these are the rules of the road and we're out here helping you out. Yep. We also, as you noticed, we hired Ms. Trask, and then for the next meeting, we'll bring in Ms. McMahon. So we hired 2 new officers. Both of them are doing well and getting out in the community, and really, they're showing me a lot right now. That's all I got. Any questions?
I do have a question. Can you explain the move over, get over? What you just
Yes,
said
ma'am.
something about
So
move over. What was
for
that?
state law, if you have blue lights, red lights, emergency lights coming up behind you, you're supposed to move over or heed those blue lights and sirens as they're coming. If you have an emergency vehicles, blue lights, red lights, yellow lights on the side of the road, if you are in a single direction lane, you're supposed to slow down to a safe speed when you go by those emergency vehicles. If you have the opportunity, if you have like on NC11 out there, if the car is stopped, the emergency vehicle's on the right lane, and you have an empty left lane, you are required by law to move over in that left lane if it's possible. It does come with a heavy fine. Those are one of those opportunities that we take to stop individuals and educate them more than rather try to issue a citation, because that's a hefty fine. And some people don't know about that law, but it's more about the safety of the individual officers, firemen, and emergency personnel on the side of the road.
Yes. So I am aware of that you need to, when you see emergencies, to go over, pull over, slow your speed and go over. I just didn't know that was that term of it. Could you, the one that you said before, the move over, get over, what?
That's speed a little, lose a lot. So if you're speeding, you will be stopped.
Yeah, I
Yes,
like
ma'am.
that.
I do too.
Because I want the speeding to, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I just want to tell you, thank you for extending yourself to do more in the community in terms of conversations at a different time. You made that effort beyond that stagnant time of 9:30 when a lot of people are at work. So I appreciate that. I have not been able to get to it because it was inclement weather on those days, and it was over 100 degrees. But I look forward to you all doing that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Chief Moore.
Good evening again. Good evening. You have my report before you. There were 440 calls this quarter. We gauge ourselves on a 6-minute response time, and we're hitting that 61% of the time for this past quarter. You also have a heat map in your packet that shows how the calls are located around town, and it's pretty evenly distributed. Obviously, the center section of town the highway had, kind of has some hot spots, but you can take a look at that. There were 299 fire inspections completed so far this year. And you can see the different types of inspections there and the breakdown. Right now, all the fire trucks are in service, and I'm proud of that.
That is fabulous.
Absolutely. Cross your fingers. So, anybody got
Chief,
any questions?
yes,
sir.
I just want to compliment and I want to say thank you. Out of that 440 calls that you had, it was one that the fire department and the first response, everybody responded to a family member of mine. And they were very impressed how you conducted the call, the service, and the information. And my hat goes off. I just want to say thank you again.
Thank you.
You helped me. They helped me in the winter time. Now you help the family member now in the summer and fall. So hopefully that's it. But I know now for sure that if there is a need, you don't have to worry about it.
Oh yeah.
And
Thank you.
Put in the call. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for your good.
Next up, Parks and Rec. And we want to welcome you back, Ms. White.
Good evening. It's great to be back, so thank you. So we've been pretty much going strong with our senior activities. The past few months we've done bingo, picnic in the park, bowling, cards and games, and every month we're looking at adding a few more activities. We've have ongoing Zumba and yoga programs, and for June, we actually had a cheer camp, and the Winterville hosted the Eastern North Carolina Cal Ripken State Tournament. And our 9Us actually won first place for state tournament, and they ended up going to the Southeast Regionals in Virginia. Also, we have our movie and concert in the park series, and we ended in June with our summer bash.
Thank you, and welcome back. I'm glad to see you back on the mend.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, you're welcome. I just had a question. I sent a correspondence to Town Manager Parker in terms of the bench, metal bench that was out by the basketball court. Now, while it was owned by Pitt County Schools, I did have a question in how that happens in terms of those intricacies of bringing their equipment out and just leaving it and then taking it. And I would like to know if there's plans forward to provide a bench to those who frequent the basketball court. I mean, tons of them use it, and now they have nothing to use or to sit on. While there is a bench, for a park bench adjacent to the basketball court, only about 3 players can sit on that if they're not playing. Is there plans to install a bench there, or that is my question.
Yes, ma'am. So we are looking at installing at least 2 benches right now just to have something there, but also there's the grass area that's near the walking trail as well. That's further away from the little t-ball field, but that area we're actually looking at putting like at least 1 or 2 picnic tables as well, so that way families and friends can also sit there and watch their family members play.
That would be good. Thank you so very much. And I believe you all are still collaborating with Impact 360, the flag football, female football team, and giving them support. I haven't checked in, but I just wanted to mention that. Have they been out there? Are they eliciting some support or not?
So they were actually supposed to be holding a flag football clinic in July. Unfortunately, the head coach had messaged with his work, he was still out of the country and was not going to be back. So unfortunately, we had to cancel it at that time, so we wanted to give him some time to get back, get settled before reaching back out to look at rescheduling that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Next up, Ms. Manning.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Finance is busy working on the audit. Our auditors were on site July 14th and 15th for the pre-audit. And that's for the 25-26 audit. They'll be back on site September 9th through the 11th for the final audit field work. The town was awarded the GFOA Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for the 24-25 audit.
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Thank you. For taxes, the new 2026 tax bills were mailed out last week, and customers should be receiving their tax bills anytime if they haven't already.
I got mine.
Thank you.
Me too.
Just a reminder, the power cost adjustment was removed as of July 1st. And then the area resource list has been updated, and the most recent one is on our website. Thank you.
Got one question?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Did we ever take any further look on a pay program for utility bills? You know, I think we were looking at maybe that we can come up with some sort of plan. Did we talk about that in our last meeting? That we was going to at least look at probably some sort of system or pay plan that maybe that we might can come up with. We didn't ever come up with anything definite, but
I know
we
staff
talked
has
about
looked
it.
into various programs several times over the
Yes.
years I've been here. And I know that they routinely look into those types of things. I'm not aware, Jessica, I'd have to
You have
defer
not-
to you as to whether there's anything y'all have brewing, so to speak.
I mean, there's nothing in the works right now. No.
I think that we talked about, you know, you can pay a little bit more than what you wanted, you know, what your bill's supposed to be, and then at the end, you know, you put you on a set payment each month. I thought that we addressed that issue or something
We
like
did
that.
talk about that. We also
Yes.
talked about the challenges of a true up at the end of the year.
Okay.
That sometimes comes as a shock to people.
Oh, yes.
Who aren't expecting that true up.
Okay.
Particularly in light of what things are costing, now for electricity and everything else. So, if that is something that council would like staff to pursue, please direct us accordingly. But I think in terms of, don't let me speak for staff, and Anthony, I know that you looked at it when you were in the position, but I think the thought was, a payment plan that has a true up presents lots of challenges, and I don't know how a set payment plan, if that's allowed in our software system or not.
We'd have to look into that.
What about our audit committee that we had that was made for council members? The audit committee, could we open that up so that, I know it probably has not been open since we've had new members, to open it up so to see if any of our new members would like to serve on that committee.
We can certainly do that.
Yes, if that's something council would like, we can, I think we had 2 on council, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's right.
Anybody else had any, okay, all right, thank you, Ms. Manning.
Thank you.
All right, next up is, Assistant Town Manager, Bowers.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be brief. Basically three major projects going on at the moment. Obviously, you see the construction around Town Hall. We'll start with that one since that's the most obvious. But that project's about 30% complete. You can see they're starting to have to dodge some rain showers here and there with the weather pattern for the past couple weeks. Obviously, when the best way to get rain is to start a project. So, or have a tournament, right? Recreation. So anytime you have a tournament, it seems like the bottom wants to fall out. But basically, that project's moving ahead as scheduled. We're about 5 days behind at the moment on our last progress meeting based on some of the weather conditions, but they are working feverishly to try to, get that caught up. The only thing that's showing any major concern at the moment with the project being finished on time is still working with our telecommunication companies to get their equipment out of the way. So they're not in a big rush to work with us. They have internal processes that really don't fit on all. We've been working with them since early May to try to get this thing done and knocked out. But we are making progress, and we still are advancing, and hopefully we'll have that wrapped up. We'll have the paving done before school starts, as it stands right now, unless something changes. But we may have to come back and work on striping or things of that nature. So there may be some finish up after school starts, but the majority of the work will be done before as planned. Again, barring any unforeseen incidents. We're moving forward with the cemetery project. That's moving forward pretty good. The roads have been cut in, curb and gutter has been poured. Some rock has been put in. The original schedule had that being fine graded this week. Then they'll be scheduling proof roll and some testing. And then once that's completed on the material that's been installed, then we'll have to, they'll move forward with the paving. So that's moving forward as well. Next project is the HVAC replacement in the police fire rescue facility. That's a pretty big undertaking. We're going to have to take all those units out as y'all approved in a budget amendment last fiscal year. So that project is moving forward as well. We're hoping to have a meeting this week to work on scheduling so we can notify all the occupants of the building of what the time frame looks like and how long we're going to be dealing with the issues with the HVAC systems. And so that's basically all I have.
Thank you.
Andy,
Yes, sir.
Oh, the cemetery on Fire Tower Road, the sign, where are we at with it?
Mr. Moy, Councilman Moy, I don't know that we've made, substantial progress on that with the other projects ongoing, but it is certainly on the list to pursue once we get a couple of these big projects behind us.
And I did go out this last week. I was out in the area and I rode out to see how the cemetery project was coming out. And I could see them working to, put the stuff down for the road and that kind of a thing. And I'm glad to see that happening there. But I do want to see that. I think Fire Tower Road has a whole different aspect there because the things that are done there don't depend on the weather so much there as far as Fire Tower. I mean, bricks, things like that, where you're talking about concrete over to the one on Reedy Branch Road. Concrete being poured over there versus sign being raised and replaced on Fire Tower.
Right, I think it depends on who's doing the work, exactly the design and all of that. So it's not that it's been forgotten by any means. It's just a matter of trying to get a couple of these larger projects out of the way so the same staff can then move on to the next project.
And as well, myself, I've walked the cemetery today, as a matter of fact. I was out there at the cemetery today visiting the grave site. So I ventured crossover, got my shoes all muddy, but it was well worth it to look at the work and see what being done. Talked with Anthony this morning and just kind of walked the grounds out there to look at what was going on.
And we'll just, the first objective of this project was to get the roads cut in and get the roads installed, get the plots laid out, Once that's done, we'll need to work with our software provider, our ERP provider, and get the plots put in the system so they'll be available for sale. So as that process develops, we'll probably bring something back to council to look at what our policies are on selling those plots and what the value of the cost for which we want them sell them at, and what policies will be in place when we do.
I was going to say, wouldn't that something we probably want to be discussing in our policy?
I don't know that you would want, I mean, you could, but I think there's so much policy work to be done, that may be better done at an actual meeting.
Okay. All right.
And also, as far as the graveyard on Fire Tower, can we look into getting it declared a historical site? I've been out there. I know those graves are some of those graves are very, very old. And maybe even getting it in. Aden has their African American cemetery as part of the African American Trail Project, and that is right there on the road. As far as the age of those, I can't say right now, but I know that my great grandfather's buried over there. And he was born right after slavery, so
we can certainly look into that.
And I know there are headstones over there that old. And I think that it's bigger than what it is, honestly. Probably with what the railroad says that it owns now, I think there are probably some graves over there.
We can look into all of that and report back.
Got one more question. The utility rates that we raised up for 4 months. When is the last month for it? Is it
That ended June 30th.
so
Yeah,
next
it's
month?
right. It's the next billing is off. Yeah.
So next month you should see a small decrease.
Right.
Right.
The power cost adjustment.
Power cost adjustment. And supposed to end it last month.
June 30th. Yeah.
Okay.
So if your billing dates were still part of June, you might have part of a month.
Okay, good. All right, and animal control contract. Do you ever get that straightened out?
Still in process.
How close are we? Anything else?
The new director, Kimberly Mitchell, and myself are working collectively on the latest draft.
Okay.
So I anticipate I can certainly have a report back to council
Thank you.
in the September meeting.
Next. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Angie Fuller.
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. As far as HR April, May, and June report with the classification and pay plan study, we did receive all of the job descriptions last week for review, and hopefully Erica Phillips will be here at the September meeting to go over the results of the pay study, and I will be providing updates for the personnel policy. Our open positions for April, our ongoing positions are Parks and Rec concession attendant, baseball scorekeeper, ongoing positions in fire and police, part-time fire engineer, part-time firefighter, and full-time police officer. And then the status of our positions that closed out in April, we interviewed the week of 5-4 for the equipment operator position. The interview panel was Cliff McGuffin, Todd Best, and myself. And we did hire 2 candidates for that position. Christian Asensio and Jacque Roach. And then the electric line supervisor, we interviewed the week of 5/11. The interview panel was Ron Mills, Kim Moore, and myself. And we did have an internal candidate for that position, Nick Holton. The fire inspector position, we had 2 candidates to apply. The interview panel was Chief Moore, Assistant Chief Miller, and myself. And the selected candidate was Michael Stocks, which, you met earlier. The construction inspector position, was the internal posting. Chris Mazzeo, was the promoted, individual for that position. The police platoon supervisor position that, we had 2 openings. That was the internal posting. We have not filled those 2 positions yet. Meter technician, we did interview and, we have not filled that position yet. Office manager, we actually have that position on hold at this time. The police chief, we did send, or we requested supplemental questions from all the candidates that applied. They had to have that in by June 30th. So we're in the process of reviewing the responses for the supplemental questions. Plus, we're working on the process, what's going to come next, the assessment center. We had a part-time firefighter, part-time fire engineer process, and we did hire 3 candidates from that process. 2 of them have started already, and then one we're waiting for his start date. And then move on to the May report. We still had the same 5 positions posted, and then we had a full-time fire engineer. We did have 1 vacancy, so that's why we had that engineer position open. And we did have a process for that position. It has not been filled yet. We should be filling that soon. And then, let's see, status of the positions closed from May. Let's see, the electric line worker, of course, we interviewed and promoted Nick Holton, the fire inspector. We promoted Stocks. We don't know all that. And then we partnered with Pitt Community College and had a summer internship program that started in June through July, the end of July. And we had 2 really good candidates to go through that program. One worked with me, and then the other one worked in Parks and Recreation. And they did a ceremony last week at Pitt Community to give them their certificates. There was a total of 11 candidates that went through that program, and 3 of them were asked to do presentations about what they did in their internship, what they learned, and one of our that worked with us in HR, he was one of the selected candidates to do the presentation. And he did a really good job, Jeremiah McGrady. Okay, and then for June, we had the same open positions for Parks and Rec, and then Fire and Police. We had an electric line technician because Nick Holton was promoted. And we have not filled that position yet. We're getting ready to interview for that position. And then as far as our new hires for June, we did have 3 summer workers. Camarion Suggs, he's been with us for the last 3 years. Logan Smith, he's been with us for the last 2 years during the summer. And then Patrick Everett, he's a new summer worker that came this year. And then the 2 part-time firefighters that we hired, Luke Vanderfest and Landon Odom, they started in June. And then 2 equipment operators, Christian Asensio and Jacque Roach, 2 police officers, Catherine Trask and Andy Ajanel. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. And then the electric line supervisor. And then also we had our open enrollment in June. AFLAC was on site for 3 days and Legal Shield was on site for 1 day. And then also all of the annual evaluations for all of our part-time, permanent, and full-time employees were due at the end of June.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, ma'am.
When there are internal postings, and no one is hired internally, what happens? How does that work? Is it posted to the public then, or because I
Yes.
didn't hear, I heard internal posting, but no one was hired.
Oh, yeah, not yet. We did interview for like the platoon supervisor, the sergeant position.
Yes.
We did interview the two candidates. We just have not gotten as far as hiring them or promoting them. We haven't gotten to that point yet.
So it was an internal posting, you interviewed them, and you're still in the process of promoting them.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because I thought you interviewed and no one was hired yet. So that, my question was, does that then go to the public? That was
Right.
my
Yes, it
question.
would if we didn't have internal that we thought was ready for the position. It would go out to the public. We would repost it.
Okay, and then I think I heard, because you gave a lot of information in your quarterly report, which was detailed. There was some positions that there was interviews for, but nothing happened.
Not yet.
Right, not internally, but
Right.
just in general.
Right.
So when you have an interview and no one was hired yet, do you open the posting again, or how does that work? I just want to know, because that wasn't internal, that was posted, and there was a window for interviews. Do you repost it? How does that work?
If we don't have a strong candidate, but are you talking about the electric position?
I don't.
We interviewed and we do have a strong candidate. We just have not made the offer yet.
Thank you. If I have any additional questions, I'll direct it to you or Ms. Parker. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Electric Department has been busy this spring, as we are still busy this summer. As you can see on your sheet, we completed over 600 work orders, cut off over 500 residents, or gave them a pink note saying that their bill was due. We've been working on relocation for the depot in Church Street. We put our facilities underground, as Anthony was referring to earlier. We hung American flag banners. Still working in Brookfield a little bit. I only think there's like a couple lots left in there. We're installing services in Eli's Ridge, 11 and Main. As y'all all know, Old Tar Road construction has been underway, so we've been involved with switching, de-energizing certain parts of lines for safety for the contract crews. And we had 2 employees attend the substation school through Electric Cities back in April.
Thank you. Evan?
Good evening again, Mayor and Town Council. On the commercial side of things, of course, you all know pit welding building's done. Salad Works and Fruitables, they are open and operating. That is in the Lowe's Food Shopping Center. Reedy Branch Storage, that is the storage facility in front of Pitt Community College. Originally constructed as storage. They are upfitting 10 of those spaces currently for a variety of types of uses. But anyway, to the best of my knowledge, they do not have any prospective occupants at this time. Those 10 upfits are going on. Freddy's Frozen Custard is being constructed on West Fire Tower Road. You can see a structure up. We've done a number of inspections over there, and we will continue. We're at the kind of the framing and rough end stage with them. Commercial stuff works a little bit different, so it doesn't all get done at one time, but that's where we are with that. The remaining 2 open tenant spaces at the Lowe's Food Shopping Center over at the 2035 building. That's the separate building. Those are, we issued permits for upfits of those. Again, not any planned tenants to my knowledge. Those are upfits for future prospective tenants. And Beacon Dental, that's a new project over on Beacon Drive. Beacon Dental is already on Beacon Drive, and they're building a new facility over in a different location on that street. And Vincent Dental, that is renovation, commercial outfit of an existing space right next to the existing Vincent Dental space. That project is underway, and they're at the overhead inspection stage, which basically means, after they get the nice drop-in ceiling done overhead, where they start getting their plumbing, electrical, and mechanical systems inspected overhead. Residential construction, Villa Grande Phase 3, that neighborhood is starting to wind down. It's been wide open, started slow, but came in with a bang. We've got 6 lots remaining there. Brookfield Section 4, we got 1 open lot there. Eli's Ridge subdivision, they'll be building there for much time to come. And code enforcement. Thankfully, code enforcement had been a little bit on the slower side because, of course, as you may well know, we've been in a drought most of the summer. Drought's now over, grass is growing, so I'm sure that will begin to pick up a little bit more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steven.
Good evening. Believe it or not, residential supply is surprisingly low right now, so we're needing some more lots to come on board. We'll actually see some come in the next few months. Southbrook on the Church Street side is coming along pretty well. You'll probably see them final plat before the end of the year. Same with Blackstone. Blackstone's finishing out a few lots, about 12 lots on their in their next phase or final phase. Quail Trace is also on the way. So we do have some residential coming along, and then some a little bit further out, but again, we do need some lots on the ground. It's moving fairly quickly. Commercial, we're getting a lot of interest from commercial, especially from out of state. Bigger tracts, looking at larger parcels. One of the more unique projects that we've received very recently is a roughly 50,000 square foot. Something that you're seeing a little bit more often now. They're calling it an office flex space. So essentially it's a large space that has a small office and a lot of room for either bulk items, could be kind of like an HVAC business, flooring business, wholesale, bulk items, things like that. So that's going to be something unique for this market, but something we actually really need. Really good for service businesses, and of course we need service businesses because we've got a ton of residential coming. But that's pretty much what we have right now. I do have the list in the back that gives you a good overview of residential projects and commercial projects coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is our announcements, and Don, I'm gonna help you out with that. Coffee and Conversation Friday, August the 14th. I'm gonna just highlight some of the stuff that's just coming up. Like I said, Coffee and Conversation August the 14th from 4 to 7, Market on the Square. Of course, you've got the Watermelon Festival, which will be August the 27th through August the 30th at the Winterville Recreation and Park. Labor Day holiday will be coming up, and then Monday, September the 7th, the town hall will be closed, of course, for Labor Day. And then, of course, our regular town meeting will be Monday, September the 14th. And then there's other announcement here. You can kind of govern yourself on them, okay? And with that, we got reports from start with the town attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report per se. I will point out that we do have a closed session tonight. Your statute's included in the agenda, but this is primarily so that the council can give instruction and receive information from the public staff, or the town staff, regarding the purchase of real estate. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Harrell.
Yes, I'd like to say thank you to the residents that are still here, the ones that came out. Thank you to our staff. We really appreciate all that you all do. Thank you to the council. And I'd like to wish all students, staff, administrators that are returning back to school a wonderful and safe school year. Thank you.
Councilwoman Hawkins.
Yes, Mayor. I did, before I start, wanted to ask Town Manager to provide an update in terms of the trash policy she was constructing and would be bringing back prospectively for the trash rollout. We spoke about that before. I just wanted to know if there was any update.
Yes, ma'am. I have been looking at policies that other municipals and other places have. There is a wide variety, so I'm trying to pick the one that might closely mirror our services, and I anticipate potentially having a draft at the September meeting.
Thank you so much. And I just want to, again, as I always say, the people are at the top of this organization for me. That doesn't discount the staff or any other departments or stakeholders, but I want the citizens to know that we are here to serve you. We are here to listen to you. We are here to celebrate with you. We are here to represent you. That is what we are here for, specifically. And so I wanted to express that and tell the citizens and residents who have sat here since 6 o'clock, that is commendable, and it speaks to your interest in the town that you are living in. And you are truly minding your own business, because this is your business, and I appreciate you greatly. I just also wanted to share with the public that Winterville Chamber of Commerce did put out applications for those who are interested in being in the parade. And as Dr. Harrell shared, we know that students are going back to school closer to the end of the month. I'm thinking the 24th. I may have gotten it wrong, but us educators are starting next week. We are geared up, ready to go, and have been planning all summer to have a superb year. I ask that you all, give great thoughts and energy to our students as they return, and prayers as well for overall success. And thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Moore.
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you, everyone, for to being so great and know how to work together, especially our staff and employees. I already said something about our fire department, but not only just the fire department, every department here. You all know how to work together. Continue on doing that, serving us. You do an excellent job. Also, the staff here, I'm talking about this board, we work hard together to do the right thing for our community. And I ask that we continue on doing it, take it to another level.
Councilwoman Smith.
I'd just like to say a special thank you to Public Works, our utility department, even code enforcement, keeping our town looking good, and especially the patriotic decor that goes up and all the extra little things through the holiday season. Everybody in the town works really hard, and when we have so special things like that happening, I like to recognize folks. I'm excited for fall. If you don't go out to our recreation parks often, go out in the fall, but you might want to walk because there's football, flag football, fall baseball, soccer, cheerleading. I probably missed something, but it is a beautiful thing to see. Congratulations to our 9U All-Stars who won the state tournament that was hosted here. Thank you to all the staff, and that goes not just Parks and Rec, law enforcement, everybody who had a part. It takes a lot of hands on deck to make our town work. Thank you so much, and we look forward to the collaboration for the Watermelon Festival, which is a wonderful part of our community and our identity as a town. We invite everybody to come out and enjoy.
Mayor Pro Tem Robinson.
I would like to echo everyone's thanks to the staff and to the attendees to our meeting. Thank you, staff, for all you've done in the hot weather that we've had and everything that you've had to overcome, and to the people that are in our audience today. I also want to extend a special thanks to Councilwoman Hawkins, who took over the concept of a human relations board here in Winterville. She worked prior to her being elected, which meant she started from scratch with it. And, her daughter too, want to commend both of them for their work with that board. Several years ago, I went to a meeting and I saw the Human Relations Board and what it was doing. And I came back and made the motion, you know, but I felt like there was a need for our community, and you've done a wonderful job in establishing it, our Human Relations Board. Back to school, are we gonna do what we did last year?
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to kind of be,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
up and at them at 8:30 in the
Okay.
morning.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Manager, town manager.
I have no report, thank you.
I'm gonna be brief. I just want to thank everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed their little time to break during July. I know now we headed down the home stretch to another year on the back end. To the staff, I always appreciate what you do. As I said earlier, I had a chance to do a ride along with the police department. My next ride along will be with the fire department. As y'all also noticed, I did an ALS challenge, and it was cold, but it was worth it. Again, I just like to thank the community for what they do to help make Winterville what it is. You know, keep supporting the town of Winterville, keep supporting us. If you have questions, always pick up the phone. We're available. So with that being said, can I get a motion to go into closed session?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion to go into closed session. Motion made by Dr. Harrell, second by Councilwoman Robinson. Any discussion? If not, use your clicker. Motion carried. Moving to closed session. I know.
Last one, I have to lose a rotten egg. You're right. Thank you.
I'm not behind.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Yeah. Make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to go back into open session.
Second.
I have a motion made by have a motion made by Dr. Harrell to go back into, open session. Second by Councilwoman Smith. All in favor by using your clicker? Motion carried. Now I need a motion.
So moved.
Uh,
To adjourn.
So moved. Meeting adjourned.
We vote, so
Oh.
you got it.
You gotta vote.
I'm sorry.
Even if it's Catholic vote,
Motion
we're still
carried.
going home. Y'all just leave me here in this ice box on. It won't be long, cause I'll be right behind.
Hey,
Old as it is.